Greetings Talvar, and welcome to another review of a Grotmus Detachment. This time we're going to be looking into the Chaos Knight variant, which is called the Iconoclast Fiefdom. And this, in the same way that the Imperial Knights, they can ally in damned units from the Chaos Space Marine Codex. So, it's going to give them a Horde style, plus stat check, just like the Knights do. So let's go straight into what it does, and how to beat it. Now, the detachment itself, it's called Dreaded Masters. So, Titanic Chaos Knights have the following ability. While a friendly damned unit is within 9 of this unit, each time a model in that unit makes an attack, reroll the hit roll of 1 and rune roll of 1. So it's going to incentivize them to take a Titanic Chaos Knight to really allow those damned units a bit of extra efficiency. Now, cultists, they're not taken for efficiency, but the accursed cultists is definitely something that they're going to be looking at doing. So they'll probably have a big knight, and then a cursed cultist blob, and then the Chaos Knights from your army have the following abilities. Dark Sacrifice. Each time a Chaos Knight unit with this ability is selected to shoot or fight, it can make a Dark Sacrifice. If it does, select one damn units within 6. That damn unit must take a leadership test. If it is passed, destroy D3. If it is failed, it's D3 plus 3 in that damn unit. Then select one of the following abilities for the Chaos Knights. Lethal or sustained. So, I can see this detachment taking maybe a blob of 20, a Cursed Cultist with a Dark Commune, because the Dark Commune is a character but it's a damned unit. And then 4 units of, say, it's 195 for an Accursed Cultist brick, 80 points. So, probably 2 units of cultists, or maybe they go a small unit of Accursed Cultist, but I think they're probably going to go a big 20 man. Let me just do a quick math. 1 minute. So, 195, and let me just double check on the... I want to just double check that the points are correct. $195. Okay, cool. So 195 plus 80, that's 275. And then they could do 4 units of cultists for 475. So they have 4 units of cultists and a unit of 20 accursed cultist with a dark commune, and that fits within the 500 points that they're allowed, as stated below. Now let's look at the enhancements. Profane Altar. Chaos Knights model. Each time the bearer makes a dark sacrifice, the maximum number of models are destroyed, but they have lethals and sustain. If the unit's leadership test is passed, or 6. If it is failed, maximum number... Oh, yeah, okay, cool, because they take D3. If they fail... 3 if the unit's passed, 6 if it's failed. Okay, that makes sense. Sorry, just kind of threw my brain there. So if they pass it, they take 3. If they fail it, they take 6. And until the end of the phase, the bearer's weapons have both lethal and sustained. Then you've got Pave the Way. 15 points. Models at the start of the declared battle formation step, you can select up to 3 damned units. The selected units have Scout 6 ability. We'll get onto that in a second. That could really work for the Cursed Cultists, but the standard cultists, I believe, have Scout move 6 anyway, so they could really push the Cursed Cultists to go up further. Tyrant's Banner, 5-point enhancement. Sick. I've never seen a 5-point enhancement so far in 10th edition. So models, Chaos Knights, models only. Each time the bearer makes a dark sacrifice, select 1 visible damn unit to take a leadership test, select 1 visible damned unit to take a leadership instead of the damned unit. Oh, okay, cool. So now actually I can see that being used, because they can just go, I don't want my accursed cultist to take the wounds. I'm just going to make those cultists over there take them. 5 points? Yeah, 5 points, why not? And then Diabolical Resilience. The bearers, 6 will feel no pain. and you can ignore all modifiers to its move characteristic and or advance or charge rolls made for it. Yeah, I can see that. So I'd probably say that the Profane Altar, Tyrant's Banner, and the Diabolical Resilience would be taken. Paved the Way is a little bit like, well, do you really need Scout Move 6 from the Accursed Cultist? It could be, so they're all okay. But I think the Tyrant's Banner for 5 points, that's pretty auto-include. And then the Profane Altar and the Resilience to give that big knight the 6-up Feel of Pain. I can see that. So let's look at the stratagems. Avenge the Masters. So any phase, Chaos Knight from your army that was just destroyed, until the end of the battle, the enemy unit that destroyed your unit is marked. Each time a damned unit from your army makes an attack, lethal hits. So that Accursed Cultist brick that's just seen your Sunforge or whatever it may be kill a small knight, they're going to get lethal hits against you. So that can come into play versus our more damaging units, like Crisis Soups. Breaches, well, whatever they're going to be hit by, they're probably going to die anyway, so that's not really a worry for us. But if you were submitting, say, a Crisis team, suddenly them getting lethal hits against you in combat is going to be pretty brutal. Then we've got Wretched Masses, 2 CP. Effectively, 1 damned unit, excluding a Cursed Cultist, thank God for that, can just come back. So a unit of 10 cultists that's died, 2 CP, bring it back. Soul Hunger, fight phase. Chaos Knight unit from your army that's just fought. If one or more models were destroyed, the unit regains up to D3 wounds. If it was battle shock, D3 plus 2. Yeah, 1 CP, I can see that definitely being used. And Unrestrained Rage. Your movement phase, just after a Chaos Knight's army from unit advances or falls back. Until the end of the turn, your unit is eligible to shoot and declare a charge in a turn which it advanced or fell back. So advance, shoot, and charge. Cool. Definitely 1 CP every day. Worthless Chattel. Shooting phase, 1 damned unit. Until the end of the phase, enemy units are not considered to be in engagement range of your unit for the purposes of selecting targets of ranged weapons. Until the end of the phase, each time an enemy model loses a wound, while that model's unit is within engagement range on a 4+, 1 model from your unit is destroyed after the attacking unit has finished making attacks. Oh, okay, cool. So a damned unit is in combat, like Accursed Cultists. The rest of the knights can just basically shoot in. And then after that activation on a 4+, a model is destroyed from their Accursed Cultist. So it means that they're not going to be hindered by their damned units being engaged in combat, and they can still start to shoot and whatnot. So shoot you and then charge you and then come and kill you. And then finally, Preserve the Idols. I can see this being used quite a lot. Your opponent's movement phase, just after an enemy unit makes a normal move, advance, or fallback move, 1 Chaos Knight unit from your army that is within 9 inches of that enemy unit. Select 1 Damn unit that is not battle shocked and not within engagement range of 1 or more enemy units, and is within 6 of your unit. That damn unit can make a normal move up to 6 inches, but it must end its move closer to that enemy unit. So, Chaos Knight, on an objective, you move in to come and deal with it. It goes, okay, you presented 10 breaches on there, you've out-OC'd me because I'm OC8, you're OC20, and then they're going to go, actually react to me for this Cursed Cultist blob, pop it on the objective, and then if you choose to shoot the Accursed Cultist instead, they've got a surge move. So, Preserve the Idols, that's the sneaky play there. It's come close to my knight, Accursed Cultist behind a wall are going to reactive move and come within, and do the move of up to 6 as a normal move, and then presenting you an issue where you need to shoot this unit. And if you do, they can then surge. Clever. I can see that definitely being used. Okay, so let's jump straight over to the damned units. Alright? So, give me 1 second. Traitor Guardsman? Nah. Traitor Enforcer? Nah. Accursed Cultist, there we go. Okay, cool. So Accursed Cultists, they have a Feel No Plane 6+, and Scout Move 6. Yeah, they already have scout moves, so that enhancement of the scout moves is just meh. I can't really understand why they would take it. Okay, so Accursed Cultists. Each time an enemy unit has shot, if one or more models from this unit were destroyed, the unit can make a d6 move as long as it's going and finishes its move closest to the enemy unit. It can be moved within engagement range. A unit cannot make a horde move while it's battle shocked. So if they're battle shocked, they can't do it. But if they're not and they're behind a wall, they're just going to do a surge move and it can get into combat. So clever positioning, they can, if you do shoot them, they can surge move into you. So stay 7 inches, 7.1 away. But if they then use that stratagem to make a normal move of 6, and then you choose to shoot them, then they can suddenly engage stuff. So be aware of that combo. Now, they have, if they take the massed unit, so 16 models, it's going to be 6 torments and 10 mutants. So the mutants are just 1 wound model, T4, and then the what do you call them? The torments are T4 as well, 3 wounds, and then their combat. So the melee weapon. Let's have a look. Right, yeah. So the small attacks are just strength 4, no AP 1 damage, 2 attacks. So it's going to be 20 attacks. And then the hideous mutations, d6 plus 2 attacks, and there's going to be 6 of them. So it will be 6d6 plus 12, 5 AP1 damage 2s. And remember that the, what do you call it? The detachment, if they're within a Titanic Chaos Knight, they get reroll 1s to hit and 1s to wound. And then, is there a way, because it's the Chaos Knights get the sustained or lethals. I'm just checking. Yeah, so then if you've killed a Chaos Knight with something, and then they make that the marked target, this unit could have lethal hits. And is there any other ability to boost them? Give me 1 second. No. So this Accursed Cultist blob, if it's going against a marked target, because that marked target has killed a Chaos Knight, which at some point you're going to have to, they could have the lethal hits. They'll be hitting on 4s, so they're not quite as potent as they are in the CSM detachment. But rerolling 1s to hit and wound can stack. So I think that is definitely going to be it's going to be something that you have to be aware of. And I can see it working very well with that stratagem of reactive move when you get within 9 of a Chaos Knight, then plus a surge move. And they have scout move 6. They're going to be taken with the Dark Commune. So the Dark Commune, while it's leading the unit has a 5+ invulnerable save, because the Accursed Cultists only have a 6+ save. So, and a feel no pain of 6+. Okay, cool. They have a 6+ feel no pain, 6+ save. But with the Dark Commune, they're going to have a 5+ invulnerable save. And once per battle in your command phase, as long as it has the cult demagogue, which is part of the Dark Commune, it comes with a Mind Witch, Iconoclast Demagogue, and 2 Blessed Blades. It will have advance and charge. Once per battle in your command phase, it can use its ability. It can declare charge and return advanced. And they get to reroll 1s to hit and 1s to wound. So, okay, they have reroll 1s to hit and 1s to wound if they're next to a big Chaos, big Knight, or they've got this once per game that they could just do it with the Dark Ritual. Now, maybe they don't take a big Knight. Maybe they just go low to small Knights plus this and just do it once per game rather than all the time. So I think it's going to be one big blob. They could do one big blob, two big blobs, which is 195, 195. So let me just have a look at the Curse Cultists. Yeah, so they could do one big blob without a character at 195. They could double that. So that'll be 390. And then just do 2 units of cultists, so not bother with the character. And then have the big knight, giving them reroll 1s, take 1s to win. They can't advance and charge, so it makes them worse for getting into range. But I can definitely see maybe them taking a 16 model unit, rapid ingressing it, and going in and just being annoying. And then 2 units of cultists, knowing that they can bring a cultist unit back. So maybe they do. Let me just do the quick math, because I think this is really important. Because I think the Cursed Cultist plus loads of mini knights is quite scary on paper. But if they did that times 2, plus the Dark Commune on 1 unit is 80 points. Yeah, then they can't take a unit of cultists because that's 470. So they won't do that. They'll take a one big blob of 20. Sorry, 16. Or what they could do, because if you take it in 10s, 8 models, so they could do 5 small dudes and 3 torments. That doesn't seem as scary to me. But advancing charging can tie up stuff. So if they did that, just to tie you up, that's 90 plus 90, then 2 Dark Communes. That's 340, and they could just put 3 units of cultists in, because the cultist, and we'll show you the cultist datasheet now, has sticky objectives. So in the same way that I talked about the knights, they can use their Skitarii rangers to sticky. The cultists can sticky objectives, and then they can just yeet their war dogs and the war glaives at you, rather than standing back and holding objectives. Something that I did miss is that I thought the cultist mob had scout move built in, but it turns out they don't. So that enhancement to give your cultist scouts is actually probably more appealing now. And how many points was that? 15 points. So maybe that becomes an option rather than you can pick up to 3 units. So if I did that, yeah, so if I did do 2 units of the 8 Cursed Cultists, 8 Cursed Cultists, 2 Dark Communes to give them advance and charge, plus 3 Cultist squads, and then you took Pave the Way enhancement, suddenly you're scouting with 2 of the Cursed Cultists with Dark Communes inside, and the 3 Cultist units. And that's before the game's begun. Now they can get into position, sticky objectives, scout move 6, then move, advance and charge. So I can see that being quite a play, actually, doing the math. So maybe they don't go the 20-man blob, maybe they just go the small, 16, and they go with the 8 Accursed Cultists. Okay, cool. So now that we've talked about a few of their CSM brothers, the really last thing to say is what can we do to tackle that? Now, with the Accursed Cultists surge moving, I think you've just got to be very, very, very wary and stay outside of the surge move, because you can go into engagement. Anything that has a surge move in this game that can go into combat can be an absolute nightmare for us, but that's not that difficult to play around because surge moves are now locked to like once per phase. So you just need to be wary of this, and you can ask pre-game questions at the beginning like, do you have surge move ability? So obviously with me reviewing this, you know now that the Iconoclast Fiefdom can have the Cursed Cultist that can have surge moves, so you can plan at the step of the beginning of the game rather than reacting to it later down the line, when obviously it's too late. I don't think they're going to take loads of big knights, or a big. I think they might take one maybe. And if we had a look at Chaos Knights a second, I think they might just still do the route of like loads of Warglaives, loads of Carnivores, just to threat overload you. So Chaos Knights, come on, let me Chaos Knights, Lord of Dread. So the Despoiler, the Rampager. Just gonna try and find Carnivore, Brigand. Let me just switch my screens again. I'll show you some of the what do you call it? Data sheets. So the one that will have definitely started to be accustomed to fighting is the Carnivore. So the Carnivore is movement 14. Okay. And it can reroll the charge rolls. In combat, it's got you can do the Slaughter Claw, 6 attacks, 12, -3, d6 plus 2. But obviously it could have sustained or lethals. So that kind of pushes that damage above what you'd normally expect in the Index Chaos Knights. Don't worry about the shooting. They do have indirect fire on every mini knight, so that got hurt because it no longer hits on 2s, it's on 4s, but still it's just blast, it's d6 shots, it can just chip away at things like your Kroot Hounds, your Kroots, your small little trades. But the main thing is here, lethals and sustain pushes over their damage. And then you've got the War Dog, the Brigand. So what was quite scary going into this is that their Demon Breath Spear is Melter 4 and it's 2 shots. So strength 12, AP 4, d6 damage, but obviously if it's within 12, it goes to d6 plus 4. When they're targeting the closest eligible enemy units, you can improve the AP by 1. And then they also can have the Avenger Chain Cannon, which is 12 shots at 6, 1, and 2. Sorry, 6, 1, and 1. So that could become 6, 2, and 1. But when you stack potentially sustained and lethals with that stratagem, or just sustained all lethals, it just adds extra. And you imagine that Demon Breath Spear happens to roll 2 6s, not that it statistically should, but it can happen. Then they're doing sustained. And if they had lethals on there as well, that's crazy. So I can definitely see them still doing the War Dog spam, but just with bodies from the accursed cultists and the cultists, and then utilising the cultists just to die to give them the lethal or sustained. And then once they've run out of cultists or a unit dies, they can spend 2 CP and bring a unit back to do it again. So it's going to give them more mission play, more opportunities to make their damage spike. But the downside is that they don't have the stratagems that they had in their index, which was very, very powerful, because they had the move through terrain in the movement phase and then the charge phase, but they don't have that now in this detachment. So I don't know if this is going to be an appealing pick outside of their normal index, but I can definitely see there being play mixing in the accursed cultists with the War Dog spam. I don't know much about the big knights, if I'm honest. But the detachment does give you that aura to your damned units of reroll 1s to hit and 1s to wound within 9. So I can see that working if they're really going to bank into the accursed cultists, but is it enough for them to take a Titanic Chaos Knight for the points investment, just to give those units the buff. And with a Dark Commune being 80 points, they can't take 2 blobs of 20 plus Dark Commune on each, so it's only really going to be buffing 1 unit. So again, I see what they're trying to do with it, but I just don't think, if I was a Chaos Knights player, I'd be like, I don't want to spend 400, 500 points on a big knight just to allow 1 Accursed Cultist blob to be better, when my Dark Commune gives me reroll hits of 1 and wound once per game. I think, like, was it once per game, the Dark Commune? Let's double check. Dark Commune. Yeah, once per battle. So I could just do that for once per battle, rather than taking a big knight for that. So, question mark. And again, same thing. If you're a Chaos Knight player who played against Chaos Knights and you have any opinion on this, please let us know in the comments and tell me I'm wrong, or tell me I'm stupid, or tell me that I'm on the money. So, last thing to have a look at, I suppose, is just to have a quick peek at some of these big knights. So, 415 points. While a friendly war dog is within 9, each time a war dog takes a battle shot, add 1. Each time a model in this unit selects a shoot or fire, you can reroll a hit roll and reroll a wound roll. The Seething Hatred, so the Knight Despoiler, maybe. Reroll a hit roll, or reroll 1 to try and fish for a lethal sustained. Okay. And then it's guns, Gatling, and the Dark Flamer, Battle Cannon plus Heavy Stubber. Thermal Cannon, Blast, Melter 6, 2d3, Strength 12, AP 4d6. That with lethal or sustained could be nasty. Or the d6 plus 3 Blast, Rapid Fire d6. What the? Rapid Fire d6 plus 3? so if it's in 36 inches, it's going to be Rapid Fire d6 plus 3. So it's basically 2d6 plus 6. What? Rapid Fire X. Oh, okay. That I can see being used. The 2d6 plus 6. I know it's only AP 1, which is the downside, I suppose. But it's strength 10 AP 1, 3 damage. So, okay, we have cover. Or we have an AOC with our Enforcer. So, it'll be hitting on 3s. 2d6. So, 7 plus 6, 13. No, I can see that working. The Despoiler Battle Cannon. And the Gatling Cannon. Warp Strike Claw. This model's Reaver Chainsword can be replaced with the Battle Cannon. This model's Warp can be replaced with one of the following. So it could have 2 of the Despoiler Battle Cannons? Okay, that's a lot of shots. So if it did want to go, it could do 2 of these. Yeah, okay, I could... yeah, I can... Alright, look, I can see that. And I know it's been a while since I've gone against, like, big knights, so I'm still learning as I'm looking, and that's what I love about these Grotmus Detachments. They're forcing us to look where we've not looked before. So if you could take 2 of those, that's going to be... And if it's within 36, it's going to be 4d6 plus 12. Strength 10 AP, 1, 3 damage with sustain and lethals. Scary. Okay. Yeah, I can see this. Then the Knight Rampager. Combat 1, basically. Sustain hits 1. Once per battle, it can declare a charge in a turn advanced. And while friendly War Dog models within 9, each time a War Dog model makes an attack, it can reroll a hit roll of 1. So I would assume that it's going to have... What is it? Reaper Chainsword and Warp Strike Claw. Sweep, 12 attacks, 10, 2, and 3. with Chainsword 18, 9, 3, and 2. With lethals and sustained. Yeah, okay, cool. So there we have it, right? That's the source. If they wanted to do the shooting, they could have the Knight Despoiler with 2 of those goddamn battle cannons. So 2 battle cannons doing, like I said, 4d6 plus 12 with lethals or sustained. And if they wanted to flip it and do the combat variant, they could have... This is obviously assuming that they're going to be doing the sweep. 10, so it'd be 12, 10, 2, and 3. And then 18, 9, 3, and 2 with lethal sustained. Or they could do the strike at 6, 20, AP 3, 8 damage. Or 6, 14, minus 4, 6 damage with lethals or sustained. But obviously in melee they have the sustained hits 1 anyway with this Rampager. Bloodlust. Okay, cool. Yeah, I can see that. So guys, just be aware that if they want to shoot you, they can. If they want to combat you, you're just dead over and over and over again. So I'm not really going to go into kind of like a TTS demonstration because, like I said, same applies with the Imperial Knights. You need to take units that can actually do damage to them and kill these big things. I'd say that the only difference between the Imperial Knights and the Chaos Knights is there's going to be more smaller knights in the Chaos Knights because they're carnivores and then they're brigands. We've seen before in the normal index, and that kitted out with the Cursed Cultists are going to present more of a multiple threats everywhere rather than 2 big ones. I think the Chaos Knights will probably still be incentivized to take 1, and if they're going combat heavy with the Cursed Cultists plus the Carnivores, they might take the Despoiler with the shooting. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. What I would say to you is just make sure you're doing your list as normal, factoring in the big stuff and vehicles, but also staying 7.1 away from a Cursed Cultist, and remember that you could trigger a normal move of 6 if you get within 9 of a Knight, and then you could have a Cursed Cultist that you might have measured your threat range from the Cursed Cultist, but like, okay, you can move, you can advance and charge, and then I'm going to stay the correct distance away. So I believe that they are, let me just double check their movement, 1 sec. Cursed Cultists, movement 6, so they can maximum 6, advance 6, so 12 plus 12, so it's 24, so I'm going to be 24.1 away, so you can't charge me with that unit, and then you've moved in to get to a Chaos Knight, and then they move 6, and then you're like, uh-oh, I'm within 18 now, so if they roll a 6 on the advance, they can make a charge. Well, not roll a 6, but they can move 12 then, and actually it's going to be, rather than an impossible charge, it's going to be a 7-inch charge. So you've got to factor that into your game plan. So, guys, be aware of that. Hopefully you really enjoyed this video, like I said before. Do the normal for me, like, subscribe, comment, helps the YouTube algorithm, helps me out, helps me grow the channel, and incentivizes me to do more videos like this for you. If you're wanting to know more, you wanted to up your game, the Puretide program, click on the link below. You've got 3 different tiers: Pathfinder, Shas'O, Shas'O. Shas'O is the highest level I do, and it will help you take your performance to that next level to compete at the highest levels in big events or events all around the world. Shas'O can still help you achieve that, but we focus on list building, we focus on deployment, and then the Pathfinder tier is your entry level, which will give you access to my lists. The other higher detachments will get you access to this as well, so they're all in sync with each other, so that if you're the highest tier, you get access to it all. But if you join at Pathfinders, as a bare minimum, you get my lists, you get demonstration days where I talk about topics and I showcase them. So I think the key thing just to kind of highlight with the Puretide program is that I will highlight everything that I do in seminars, and I engage with my audience rather than just allowing you to go and view the videos online. And also, I record everything, so everything's available to you on a WAP library. So guys, thank you very much for watching, thanks for your time and your support, and I will speak to you all soon. Take care.